Marie Curie, breaking barriers. Imagine a laboratory in Paris at the beginning of the 20th century. Glass bottles shine under dim light, while the air smells strongly of chemicals. This is where Marie Curie, a woman defying all odds, immerses herself in her work. Born in Poland, she carries the courage of her nation and the will to break barriers. Since childhood, Marie faced unimaginable challenges. As a young girl in occupied Poland, women were not allowed formal education. This did not stop her. While others accepted society's limitations, Marie secretly studied at a hidden university. When she arrives in Paris at the age of 24, her world expands. The City of Light becomes a place where curiosity can grow, but it is also a city filled with prejudice. Being a woman in a male-dominated field is a daily struggle. Marie refuses to give up. Every experiment, every note in her journal, builds something greater. Not just scientific discoveries, but a new space for women in science. Her work begins to challenge the academic norms of Paris. Paris, though progressive, still lacks equality. While studying radioactive elements like radium and polonium, Marie faces reality. Her work is often ignored, questioned, or credited to the men around her. Yet she remains focused on her mission. A collaboration with Pierre Curie, an open-minded scientist, offers hope. Together they take on scientific challenges and social norms. But there is an unseen danger, the risks of handling radioactivity. This becomes a battle of survival as well as scientific achievement. Marie starts to understand her true purpose. She is not only making discoveries but breaking the silence for women everywhere. She is proving that the impossible is only a matter of perspective. Marie Curie dives deeper into her research. She splits her time between solving chemical mysteries and battling social pressures. Even with Pierre's support, respect is often denied to her. Many assume her ideas are Pierre's, leaving her in the shadows. The elements radium and polonium prove harder to isolate than expected. To extract them, Marie and Pierre process tons of uranium ore. This exhausting physical work takes place in a poorly ventilated shed. It is a daily sacrifice for the pursuit of science. Physical exhaustion and societal rejection test Marie's strength. You're trying to do something women can't, critics say. Some laugh at her belief that radioactivity is more than just a physical phenomenon. Still, she continues, ignoring their doubts. Handling radioactive materials takes a toll on their health. Burned hands, constant fatigue, and unexplained pain become routine. For Marie, the pursuit of knowledge is worth any price. She draws strength from her past and her unwavering belief in education. One late night in the lab, she recalls her mother's words. Knowledge is the greatest treasure, and the world belongs to those who dare to seek it. These words inspire her to push forward. She prepares to give a public lecture on radioactivity, something no woman has done before. The room is silent as she speaks with confidence and determination. Marie realizes her fight is not just for science. It is for every woman who never had a chance to stand where she is. She is slowly creating a new future where women have a voice in science. After years of hard work and sacrifice, unexpected news reaches the Curie's small laboratory. The Nobel Prize Committee recognizes the discovery of radioactivity as a groundbreaking achievement. Initially, the prize is to be awarded only to Pierre Curie and Henri Becquerel. However, Pierre insists the committee acknowledge Marie's crucial role. In 1903, Marie Curie becomes the first woman to receive a Nobel Prize. The moment is historic but bittersweet for Marie. During her acceptance speech, she realizes that many still view her success as an extension of Pierre's work. Her fight for equality is far from over. With fame comes new pressures. Journalists focus more on her personal life than her scientific contributions. How can she be a scientist and a mother, they ask, or who takes care of her home? At a gala dinner, a colleague questions if she misses a simpler life. Marie remains unshaken. Pierre's admiration and support are her foundation. He believes in her limitless potential and encourages her projects. Their partnership grows stronger until a cruel twist of fate intervenes. In 1906, Pierre is struck by a horse-drawn carriage and dies instantly. Marie's world collapses. The loss is devastating, and many assume her scientific career will end. Close friends suggest she return to Poland, but Marie decides to stay in France. When the University of Paris offers Pierre's chair to her, Marie becomes the first woman to lecture there. Still grieving, she transforms the classroom into a space of innovation. She inspires a new generation of scientists, particularly women. This turning point in Marie's life shows her resilience. Her decision to carry on Pierre's legacy is both a tribute and a reminder. Inner strength can overcome even the deepest tragedies. After Pierre's death, Marie Curie throws herself into her work to cope with her grief. She decides to continue researching radioactivity, now as the sole leader of her discoveries. Her hands, scarred from prolonged exposure to radiation, become symbols of her unwavering dedication. Despite society's doubts, Marie refuses to step back. Every experiment is a tribute to Pierre's memory and proof that women can achieve extraordinary things. However, her challenges are not just personal. Male-dominated scientific institutions make it difficult for her to access resources. Many believe she cannot succeed alone. In scientific meetings, she is interrupted or ignored. But with calm determination, Marie counters arguments with evidence. Her persistence slowly earns her the respect she deserves. Amid her struggles, Marie makes a groundbreaking discovery. Radium can be used to treat tumors. This practical application gives her research a new purpose beyond pure science. She begins working with doctors, bridging the gap between science and medicine. In 1911, Marie receives her second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry. She becomes the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes in different fields. As she accepts the award, she delivers a moving speech. "I dedicate this prize not only to Pierre but to every woman who dared to dream bigger. The path is difficult, but science is a field where dedication knows no gender." Her words inspire others and solidify her place in history. Marie begins to create opportunities for other women. She mentors young scientists, especially women, encouraging them to break societal barriers. Her daughter, Irene, joins her in the laboratory, learning from her mother's every step. Marie Curie becomes a symbol of resilience and determination. Her passion and perseverance not only change her life but transform the world. During World War I in 1914, Marie Curie faces a difficult decision. Should she use her knowledge to help directly on the front lines or stay in her lab to advance science? Choosing immediate action, she develops little Curies, mobile vehicles equipped with X-ray machines to diagnose injured soldiers on the battlefield. Marie, along with her daughter Irene, travels to war zones to train medical teams and operate the equipment. Amid trenches, gunfire, and the cries of wounded soldiers, she sees the real impact of her work saving lives. Despite the dangers, she refuses to retreat, risking bombings and disease to be where her science can make a difference. Even with her revolutionary contributions, the French government hesitates to formally recognize Marie's impact. She declines all financial rewards from her Nobel Prizes, choosing to reinvest the money into her research and equipment. One of the most emotional moments comes when a young soldier thanks Marie for saving his leg with a little Curie. Tearing up, he gives her a pendant with a cross, saying, "You are more than a scientist. To us you are a savior." Back in Paris, exhausted from the war and her relentless work, Marie receives a special letter. It is an invitation to represent France at an international meeting of scientists. For the first time, the scientific world acknowledges her greatness, not as Pierre's shadow but as herself. The climax of Marie Curie's story shows how her determination reached beyond science. It touched humanity in its rawest form, on battlefields, in soldiers' hopes, and through inspiration for future generations. After the war, Marie Curie returns to her laboratory, but years of exposure to radiation take a toll on her health. She is diagnosed with aplastic anemia, caused by her constant work with radioactive materials without proper protection. Even as her health deteriorates, Marie continues working. To her, every day in the lab is a victory against time. Her colleagues, friends, and even her daughter Irene beg her to rest, but she responds with a serene smile. There is still so much to discover. How can I stop now? At a symbolic ceremony at the University of Sorbonne, where she was the first woman to teach, Marie is honored. Young women stand moved to thank the woman who opened doors in a male-dominated field. One of them says, "You did not just discover chemical elements, Madame Curie. You gave us something far greater, the courage to believe we can achieve the impossible." Marie Curie passes away on July 4, 1934, surrounded by her family. Holding her hand, Irene promises to continue her work and honor her legacy. Marie's funeral is simple as she wished, but millions around the world mourn her loss. Marie Curie leaves behind an immortal legacy. She proved that science has no gender, that passion and persistence can overcome any barrier, and that one determined individual can change the world for generations. Years later, Irene Joliot-Curie follows in her mother's footsteps and wins the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. The family's legacy of scientific excellence continues. Marie Curie's name lives on in institutions, hospitals, and awards. But most importantly, it lives in the hearts of all women who dared to dream big. She did not just illuminate the mysteries of the atom. She lit a flame of hope and courage in each of us. As a young student reads about Marie in a small school lab in France, she is inspired to become a scientist. Years later, she discovers the cure for a disease that had claimed many lives, including her mother's. It all begins with a phrase from a book about Marie Curie. Science is a field for anyone who believes in the power of knowledge. Marie Curie's legacy transcends generations, inspiring future pioneers and proving that with courage and determination, there are no limits to what we can achieve.